Hey guys, welcome to my video, and today we'll be looking at 5 extreme drone setup builds. Now, due to certain specifications of the microchips on the drone, it really takes these 5 builds to an extreme level, and some may say overpowered. Now, the idea behind making an extreme build with drones is basically stacking certain characteristics. By that I mean stacking same microchips or similar microchips at least, which will bring out the strength of certain robots. So now let's take a look at how extreme these drones can make certain builds. The first one I'll be talking about is the Titan Fenrir stacking repairer. Okay, so this is regular Fenrir, but it's like a Titan. I focus most of my pilot skills on mechanic and to boost its HP, and the legendary pilot makes it that much more tankier. And of course, to go extreme with this, let's take a look at the drone, and here it is. I'm using repairer, so I basically stacked up these repairer modules. Its activation is a little bit different, but the idea here is to stack the same ones, especially to already tanky Fenrir. So some might even say, what's so good about that? Why don't you have lockdown, freezer, and all that stuff? Now, the main benefit of running a Fenrir is you're able to take over certain beacons. For example, here I'm able to just save back our home beacon with the Falcon. That's the whole idea. That's why it looks like that guy was running the Falcon at this point. Now, just going extreme with Fenrir's already decent strength, being tanky robot, it's able to execute its purpose much better. I am basically, after taking this guy down, getting our home beacon back, I marched towards their enemy's home beacon. Now, because how all these healing chips are activated, I'm able to really go head to head against all these guys. Of course, the Hades helping out over here was very helpful. Now, I don't have all these T4 chips on my own account either, but I mean, the whole idea is, even though if you don't have all those premium microchips, the idea is to stack the similar ones to take your robot strength to another level. Now, the second extreme drone build is the zombie Ravana. That's what I call it. Infinite phase shift. If you use the phase shift at the right time, basically using the phase shift healing microchip. In this case, I have 4. Now it ended up being 50. Once you phase shift, it heals 55%. And what's crazy is having the Fool's Hardy Quartermaster, which activates at half point of your HP. What happens is, once you phase shift using the Fool's Hardy Quartermaster at 50% of your HP, you would obviously, with the microchip, you would have your HP bump back up past the threshold of Fool's Hardy Quartermaster. And as Ravana's HP goes down by being attacked, down below Fool's Hardy Quartermaster's threshold, you are able to use the phase shift again. On top of that, with the legendary pilot on the Ravana, you are able to use another 3 phase shift like ability, transcendence. I think that's what it's called. But basically, even if you're out of your ability, you're able to use back-to-back phase shift. And although you can't get any beacons with it, you can kill a lot of bots with it. Now, I think the setup is really underrated in this meta, and I think it's, personally, I find this build more overpowering than the Hawk, because it just doesn't, if you time your phase shift right and you keep on healing, it just doesn't die. Now, let's fast forward this part here using the transcendence ability. Now I'm going cover to cover, and I'm using my phase shift now, and soon enough you'll be able to see how much phase shift I'm using, just kind of sitting on their beacon. Although I'm not turning it during the phase shift, I just used it again because of the foolhardy quartermaster, and now fighting the falcon, I'm using the phase shift again and again here. I don't know how many times I'm using it. So the phase shift repair chip bumps my HP above my foolhardy quartermaster threshold, and as it goes down, I'm able to just use it again. And I've used a lot of phase shift, and during that time my weapons were reloading, and I was able to just kill off a lot of guys now. Now, no matter how much damage output the Hawk is putting out, because I mean, due to how many phase shift I can just use, it's just insane. Even though this guy has the cloaking unit, I just phase shift and wait for that thing to just run out, and I'm just pounding on this guy. He's done, and this guy's not even looking at me. And the Hawk is here. Just go beneath the Hawk, and there's our Nightingale helping out, and killed another Hawk here. Of course, the Fenrir takes me out, but that's why I call this the zombie Ravana. It's really hard to kill. The third one is Tri-Effect Scorpion. So by Tri-Effect, I meant lockdown, suppression, and freeze effect all in one. Now I have triple cloaking unit on here. Just makes it that much difficult to kill. Now the three effects are just worse on this build, because with a Scorpion you're going right behind whatever the robot you're targeting. So all the effects basically gets accumulated just instantly. As you can see right here, I think it's an enemy Hawk, just and right behind the Scorpion's ability just makes having these three chips that much worse. Now I guess since I did say earlier in the video, I did talk about just kind of stacking the same chips, but I guess this is an exception, because it just like all these three effects just applies because how the suppression is there. Now the lockdown, freeze is almost there. Everything just gets accumulated really fast, and I could even go for this beacon. Yeah, the Scorpion's ability just is brutal, but having those three chips activate is even worse. Now onto the next Death Button Hawk stacking modulative intensifier. That will bring its max firepower, and with the overdrive, of course, I believe that this is probably the most popular build out there. People are probably stacking these modulative intensifier with the death mark, of course, and overdrive just makes it that much worse. But the modulative intensifier each are 15%, and I have stacked several on here. You might not be able to stack several on here due to drone slots, but I mean, just stacking them is just brutal. So basically, back then we used to have Death Button Griffin, which was Orkin Pinata Griffin, and we called it Death Button because it just kills everything in one salvo. This is just kind of like it, and I kept this part short. The gameplay footage is short here because of course most of you already know about this. Now this one is a little bit interesting. This is actually a pretty popular one too. I call it the 7th player because you can only have 6 players in a game, but who's the 7th player? Of course, it's the drone that shoots. Sometimes you just need that extra firepower, even if it's a Hawk, because you're going against a Titan, because you don't have to press any buttons. You don't really have to activate anything. It will just shoot for you. Now what makes this drone setup really intense is not just having the defense mitigator. On top of that, I have the acid sprayer, which also affects just the drone's weapon. So it does acid effect, so it's kind of like a poison effect kind of thing. It just does extra effect over time, damage over time, I think that's what it's called, DOT effect. Now I wasn't able to stack as many acid sprayer as I wanted to because I didn't have a drone that had enough slots for the acid sprayer to be stacked. The main point is just going crazy with a drone's weapon, having defense mitigator and acid sprayer stacked. Just makes, I don't know, another monster build on, even if it's not a hawk. I also think that this will be great on pulsar leech with 500 meter range weapons on the drone. This is another great footage. I thought I'd just kind of slide in because I was attacking multiple titans and drones. This drone, I think it's called Defender, is putting in some work. Now I'm going around, going to a higher elevation so I can shoot over this Arthur. Also, the drone is shooting the crap out of this Arthur as well. The firepower is just insane. Going to finish off this guy and head over to over there where everyone is just kind of hanging out, and just jump over. And I know it's an Arthur. I will shoot over its shield, and my drone is putting in some work. I think it's out of ammo now, so might not be the best example, but that was it for me today. That was everything I prepared for this video. Thank you guys for watching this video, and if you haven't subscribed, subscribe for more. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.